Alright guys, and here on our news it says Clarity Act for XRP holders. Coinbase CEO drops bullish update. Now, the question here is the entire future of XRP about to be decided in the next few days? The clock is ticking down to an absolute showdown in Washington. Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong here has officially returned to Crypto Hill, pushing with everything he's got to get the Clarity Act across the finish line. Crypto analyst JackTheRippler recently shared a video updating the entire XRP community on what's happening behind closed doors. Armstrong declared that the bill is officially sitting at the 1-yard line with massive bipartisan backing. But with a strict deadline hitting before August recess, we are entering the single most critical window for digital assets in American history. Is this the moment XRP permanently sheds its regulatory burden, or are we facing a massive roadblock? So let's break down every single detail we need to know. So let's start with our very first question about why did Coinbase's CEO change his strategy on the Clarity Act? To understand why Armstrong's latest push is such a massive, big deal, you have to look at where this all started. Back in January, Armstrong actually pulled Coinbase's support right before a critical Senate Banking Committee session, warning that the initial draft was worse than the existing regulatory framework. He rejected another revision in March over restrictive stablecoin yield terms. That sudden withdrawal fractured industry momentum and forced lawmakers to pursue. Now, here's my opinion. Watching that initial pullback was nerve-wracking, but it was actually a brilliant strategic move. By refusing to accept a flawed bill, industry leaders forced lawmakers to come to the negotiation table rather than rushing through bad policy. The major breakthrough finally occurred when Senators Tom Tillis and Angela Brooks brokered a compromise on stablecoin yield. That agreement brought Coinbase fully back on board, transforming what was once a stalled legislative debate into a unified front. Now, where does the legislation stand on the Senate floor right now? After the clearing, the Senate Banking Committee, the Clarity Act made its way into the official Senate legislative calendar. Senate Majority Leader John Thune has confirmed his intention to bring the bill up for a full floor vote before Congress breaks for its August 8 recess. Right now, the bill has 51 confirmed or likely yes votes, but it requires a 60-vote supermajority to overcome procedural hurdles. While Republican backing is largely solidified, supporters still need to secure 9 Democratic votes out of a pool of 33 uncommitted senators. Now, here's my opinion. Reaching 51 votes is a huge milestone, but those last 9 votes represent the real battleground. It's like climbing 90% of a mountain. The final stretch is always the steepest, and every single uncommitted senator holds immense leverage right now. Now, how are upcoming midterm elections impacting the lawmakers? The timing of this vote couldn't be more dramatic. Armstrong pointed out that the decision falls just 100 days out from the midterm elections. Analysts have consistently highlighted this pre-recess window as the last viable chance for crypto legislation to pass in 2026. If lawmakers fail to act before August 8, focus will immediately pivot toward election campaigning, leaving the bill's fate to an uncertain post-election Congress. Senator Cynthia Lummis even cautioned that missing this crucial opportunity could delay comprehensive market structure rules all the way until 2030. Now, here's my opinion. The political urgency is a double-edged sword. On one hand, politicians want to deliver tangible legislative wins to their constituents before hitting the campaign trail. On the other hand, election year politics can cause unnecessary delays if partisan posturing takes over. Now, is public grassroots advocacy moving the needle in Washington? While politicians debate, every crypto participants are making their voices heard like never before. Members of the Stand with Crypto movement have sent over 880,000 direct communications to lawmakers in Washington. Armstrong specifically praised these grassroots efforts, noting that the overwhelming surge of constituents' outreach is actively shifting opinions in congressional halls. Now, here is my opinion. Seeing nearly 1 million direct messages hit Capitol Hill is proof of how powerful a unified community can be. For years, crypto regulation was dictated by non-elected agency officials. But this massive community push shows that voters are demanding a seat at the table. Now, what would passing the Clarity Act mean for XRP holders? If the Clarity Act crosses the finish line, it will establish a clear, binding federal framework defining exact boundaries between the SEC and CFTC. Most importantly, for XRP, the bill would explicitly write digital commodity classifications into federal statute. This would replace informal agency interpretations with permanent law, ensuring that the future administration changes cannot arbitrarily reverse XRP's legal status. Now, here's my opinion. Cementing XRP's status into federal law is the ultimate goal. Statutory clarity eliminates the shadow of regulatory uncertainty that has weighed on institutional adoption for years, laying a concrete foundation for global financial integration. And finally, here is our overall conclusion. The push for the Clarity Act has reached a dramatic, high-stakes climax. The Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong back in Washington, 51 confirmed votes in hand, and less than 2 weeks before the August 8 recess, the digital asset market stands at a historical turning point. Securing those final 9 Senate votes could permanently cement XRP's status as a regulated digital commodity, giving the market the long-term legal certainty it has sought for years. All eyes remain fixed on Capitol Hill as the final countdown begins. Alright, and this finally ends our video. Thank you very much for watching and see you on the next one. Or you might just as well check this next recommended video right here.